Nate, would you say the pledge, please?
Was it time?
It's a call.
You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
Of the
of
United
the
United States of America,
To
to the republic which stands one
Stands
nation,
one nation,
under God,
under
indivisible,
God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, a couple of things before we get started. Steve wants us to wait a couple of minutes before we go into non-public in order to take those people out that don't belong in non-public. So it'll be a couple of minutes before we go in. Now, the other thing, talking to Steve wants to know if all of us, including me, can go from our homes, because this is causing him a lot of work to come up here because he's an hour from home. So we may be doing that in the future. We're gonna see if we can pull it off. So just make everybody aware of that.
What do you mean, in-person meeting?
No, all Zoom, but from my homes, even me. I'm not at home. I'm at the high school.
Oh.
And then that way he doesn't have to come up. He can do it from his home.
We do that because we do our admins with it, with all the folks here except for you folks. Do Zoom staff with the whole staff and so forth, so we can work with Steve on that.
Yeah, well, we probably will try it next meeting, maybe.
Yeah.
Moving on to the minutes, please.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve the public minutes of July 22nd with a few corrections. Page.
Peg, it's actually August 12th. I didn't, because I forgot to change the date, if you
yeah,
remember.
Right. Sorry, thank you. I will change that, and I didn't pick up on it either. Page 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, little bullet down. Grades 3 through 5 hybrid. It had assigned remote. Students will be assigned a homeroom and remote teachers. And both of them, something was missing here, but they're both assigned to the gold group and the purple group.
Yep, I changed that, yep.
Okay, good. The bottom, just a silly grammatical change. Got rid of those classes because it was just a continuation. Let's see. Oh, page 4. Just 2 lines up from the bottom bullet. It was about all of the air handler expenses, 20,000 coming from the CARES Act and 14,000 from the trust fund, with the remainder I added with the remainder from the operating budget. Page 5, just a couple of grammatical changes. And that was it. And then, under policy, BEA changed from emergent to emergencies for items that can be added. And that was it.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Oh, good. All right. Peg,
Bye.
Melissa,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Emily.
Aye.
Well, I forgot to ask. I'm alone. Peg, are you alone?
Just my dog. Yep.
Nate,
Yes, I'm alone.
Earl,
Lucy,
okay, Melissa,
Yes, I'm alone.
yeah, Paul,
Yeah, I'm on.
Dan,
My husband's in the living room.
Bob,
Yes, yeah,
Tom,
alone.
Rob,
All by my onesies.
John,
Yes, I'm alone.
Melissa, Emily, I'm sorry,
Yes.
Dan,
My husband's in the living room.
okay, Jen,
My family's in the living room.
okay, Tammy,
I'm alone.
Timmy, Tim,
Did you hear me? I'm alone.
Okay, all right. And Frank, I don't know who Frank is, and then Steve. Okay, moving on to, I. Okay,
Aye.
did I do it already? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, all right, okay. Moving on, non-public. August
Okay, I will make a motion to approve the Wednesday, August 12th, non-public with just one correction on the second page, since we made the change to the starting date for the ABA tutor. I just added the words for training so that people would be understand why we changed the start date. And then crossed out the salary because we don't usually put salaries in the minutes.
So Paul shouldn't have said aye on these because he wasn't here.
You're right.
I'll say aye.
I digress.
Okay. I, Peg,
Aye.
Melissa,
Aye.
Emily,
Aye.
Paul, thank you.
Okay, I have a question, Earl. Do we need to approve the minutes from the deliberative session? They were in everybody's packet.
Probably should.
Okay, if we should, I will make a motion to approve them with no corrections.
I don't have them in mine. Were they?
You don't need to. They're deliberative.
Okay.
Okay.
They were in the packet. They were in my packet.
They're in
Probably
your
FYI.
packet.
Nate just put it in for a consent agenda, so. You're
Okay.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Aye.
Emily, you weren't there.
Yes, I was.
You went to the
This is-
deliberative?
Yep.
Yep, she was with me. Yep.
Aye, Peg,
Aye.
and Emily?
Aye.
Yep.
No, I couldn't remember who else was there.
That's it.
That's it, okay. Okay. All right. Okay, Earl, I guess you're up.
Excellent. We are all set for the fall reopening, thanks to the unbelievable hard work and cohesive work of the staff and then the school board. Unlike many of the other schools, we cohesively and collaboratively made our decisions very, very early and allowed for smooth transition and communication, and we were decisive, and we took a look at the models, and we spent an extraordinary amount of time in discussing it into the minute areas. At this point, we're going into the we fine tune each part. At this point, we'll go with the food first. Frank is here and Chris Barnes are on here, and we have met with them, and they will give you an update on where we are as far as the food for the students. Chris, Frank?
Yes, good evening. Thank you, Earl. So yes, as Earl mentioned, we met with your SAU folks and your building administrators last Thursday and kind of reconnected and, just went through the plan one further time. We still got a few little minor details to work out. Logistically, when students are going home for their off remote day, we're just going to work out some of the details on how to get them food to take home for their remote learning day. So we're working on that with Jan to kind of just finalize some of those details. But when students are leaving for their day that they're in school, where the intent is to provide them with meals for their remote learning days. And I think we have a good schedule and a good plan to do that. We've met with our teams and we've kind of given them the instruction on what it's going to look like. We're actually having a long meeting tomorrow with all of our food service directors, and we have some video presentations on meal packaging and things of that nature that they might be unfamiliar with. So we're really trying to lay some good foundation for the folks. I think I've mentioned to you last time we spoke that we'll have one of our floating chef managers, Lisa Martell, helping out in the process as we get our legs underneath us. But I think, the plan that you guys have, our plan is perfect fit. The meals that we're going to be providing are, just what the students are typically looking for. And I think we're going to capture the largest audience with the smallest amount of offerings to start the process. A couple of things I just wanted to follow up on. Last we spoke, Nate, we had that question on FFVP. And you're right, we do have a significant amount of money to spend through the month of September only, because when the program shut down in March, those funds were just left there. So we're going to try to be as aggressive as possible, as quickly as possible, so we can add some extra nutrients to the students' lunch or snack time right out of the gate. So that's definitely on the table. The fact that you guys are doing the 50-50 model, where you're going to have limited people in the schools at a time, we're very confident that our staff can facilitate a very quick, expedient service, wash the tables and clean the cafeterias between meal periods. We've got the approved sanitizer that will do that. So, I think we're very confident. We've had the paper products pre-ordered, so we got ahead of the delivery chain push, and we've gotten everything in-house, so we're ready to roll. Food-wise, we don't have any problems getting food. Today was my first day of service in one of our other managed school districts, and the model that we've put forth for the rest of the team actually worked pretty well. I was very pleased that it actually unfolded how we anticipated it unfolded. Things that we did today, we can do a little bit better tomorrow. And, we anticipate that we'll have opportunities for growth, once we get our first couple of days under service, as we assess what we did well and what we can do better.
Before we proceed, does any of the board members have any questions for him before we proceed? Peg?
Yeah, just, you mentioned the FFV, the fresh fruits and vegetables, correct?
Yeah.
Are we getting that grant again this year, Nate? Do you know, or?
We are still waiting to hear from the state. They haven't been released those
Okay.
funds yet.
Okay.
So we don't know.
At least we're good through September. Okay. Thank you.
Anybody
Right.
else? Okay, Earl?
Okay, thanks, Chris and Frank.
Okay.
Thank you very, very much. And we'll meet with you again before we start.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks again.
Thank you, folks.
So we can let him.
Okay, next up, Susan and Dawn, our school nurses in each of the schools, have worked very, very hard for a great deal of time now. And they'll update you in probably the most important aspect that we're going to begin school with. And I think that we've spent a great deal of time on this, and we have given you a lucid area in terms of what plans were. As we talked with the school attorney, he indicated layer upon layer upon layer. We did embed all the things and more that we should. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Susan and Dawn. And again, we just can't thank them enough for the time they've spent on this most important part. Okay, Sue and Dawn.
John and I have been attending the Friday sessions with Dr. Chan and other school nurses. We're also both attending Boston Children's Hospital is doing a series on COVID and all kinds of different things. So we're doing that. It's a 4-part series. So we've been learning a lot. John today presented to the Newt staff. We have a really good PowerPoint from the New Hampshire school nurses that outlines just the, what it's all about, what to do, how long people stay out, and what else did you include, Dawn?
Just about prevention and precautions, so masks and hand washing. We showed today videos on hand washing and proper use of masks for the staff, and that's going to be shown at MES as well, and then also to the students once they come to school. And we just went over just what to expect if there was to be a positive COVID test in a staff or student, which would just be that Susan or myself or an administration would call the public health. They would then, do contact tracing. We would provide them with information in regards to anyone that may have been in close contact with that student. And like Susan said, just the different times you would need to stay home, which is typically 10 to 14 days from when your symptoms started or you had a positive test.
Yes, symptoms and a positive test, it's 10 days since the symptoms first appeared. You have to be at least 24 hours fever-free without medications and to have improved symptoms in order to come back. If somebody is symptomatic and they opt out of testing, it's the same thing. They still have to be out for 10 days. If they're asymptomatic and they have a positive test, it's the same thing, 10 days, assuming they, stay asymptomatic. A person that was exposed by close contact, which is greater than 10 minutes and closer than 6 feet, suspected or confirmed, it's 14 days from the last exposure, and you cannot test out. Also, travel outside of New England is also 14 days. So, yep, for me, I'll be showing similar to what Dawn did on Monday to our staff. It's a lot of great information. It's in a great, easy to understand, order. So hopefully everyone feels good about coming back.
Great. Do board members have any questions for either Susan or Dawn? Peg?
I do, Doug. Susan, you mentioned something about asymptomatic.
Right.
How do I know that I should be staying home if I have absolutely no symptoms and I haven't had a test? I mean, I haven't thought about having a test because I'm feeling fine, blah, blah, but I really have it. How do we determine that?
Well, yeah, it
Good
would
question,
be,
right?
yeah, I think it would be if you really were exposed to somebody that, had a positive test or had quite a bit of symptoms and you felt like, you should get a test. You certainly should be calling your doctor and they may recommend that you get tested.
Okay, if I may, I would like to recommend that be something that's put out there besides just, okay, yeah, I was in contact with somebody who does have it or had a positive test, but I didn't know that they had a positive test and they didn't have symptoms for, a day or two and they didn't bother to tell me. So I don't know. I mean, I just want to make sure that everybody is safe. I mean, that's my number one priority in this whole going back. And I thank the two of you for everything that you've done. So please don't get me wrong in that. I just want to make sure that everybody understands and everybody knows what you guys have come up with.
Anybody
Yeah.
else?
Yeah, I'm just kind of reading over some of the stuff. Again, if it's that positive, a family member that has it, a close person has to quarantine as well for 14 days.
Right.
Yeah,
and it's not just, what you guys sent out, but I mean, it's kind of a question that I've just had in general is I have absolutely zero symptoms. So how do I know that I actually have it and haven't bothered to go to the doctors because I feel fine? So it's just one of my crazy little general questions. So
That's something that so if there was a positive case within the school, the public health would be calling everyone so we'll have copies of like seating charts and bus seating charts, and the public health would go through all of those and contact everyone just to kind of check in with them and then determine, because it also depends how much contact they've had. So they say more than 10 minutes of less than 6 feet without masks. So at school, they'll be wearing masks. So, but I think the contact tracing, which is what the public health nurses do, will help kind of determine which people who have no symptoms should possibly stay home and just see if it does develop.
Okay, thank you, ladies. All the
Anybody
work you put in too.
Anybody else? Thank you. Earl?
Thank you. And they've gone way beyond. They've spent the last month when they were only supposed to come to work the beginning of the school year. They allowed us to begin to get back to school. So we can't thank them enough for their work way above. Next, Jen is gonna give us an update on the tech, which she has worked with the staff and everyone so hard on. It is amazing that every obstacle that has been put before the staff and the groups, the task forces that have worked on it, we have met it and we've stayed within the plan. So when we've hit a bump in the road, which in these times there's many bumps in the road, we have planned to work through that. And that's what Jen is going to discuss for us now. Jen?
So last week we talked about the fact that our order was sent back to, China, that type of thing. So Back Bay was able to redo our order and get it with a new company that is able to ship to the US. So we're working with the Back Way to track the status of the Chromebooks while collectively working with the admin team on a plan that will ensure all students have what they need to begin the school year. So we'll start with the priorities of the remote kids, students with no home devices, and then what the classroom needs are compared to what the needs are at home. So we sent out a survey to make sure that all of those priorities are taken care of and put into kind of a spreadsheet so we can ensure that the priority levels are taken while we wait for these Chromebooks to come in. And as soon as they come in, we can, work diligently on what's happening. Or once we get the word on whether or not there's a shipment coming to California now, if our Chromebooks are on there, we'll get them sooner rather than later. If they're not on that shipment, we have like a backup plan just in case. So fingers crossed.
Question.
Yes.
Are they going to be getting them for the same price? The second?
I believe so, yes. I've not been told otherwise.
So we don't know if
I'm
only.
gonna assume yes.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else before she continues on that subject? Okay, almost set. Go ahead.
So the only other thing was the worry was in regards to Paris. So Earl had a great idea today. We talked about having that a little bit of money in another fund. So we're potentially looking at how many remote pairs we would need to support those remote kids and purchasing some laptops with that money to just get them by as well, that don't have the same things that the ones the students use, having the educational license, that type of thing, just at least to get us through in the meantime. So I'll work with Back Bay on that tomorrow to find out what we need to do.
Another question.
Yeah.
What year budget is going to come out? This new year or last year for the Paris?
Oh, Grant.
Good, thank you.
Yes, of course.
465 then, okay.
465, yes.
Okay.
And on the chart I shared with you, I updated it to include that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, thank you very much, Jen.
You're welcome.
Bob has done an incredible work. We've met for months and months. This started back in May. In April and May, when we first started the task forces and everything, we put a rush on and we knew we'd have to compete very hard for PPE and all of that. Everything I'd been hearing from other schools, things hadn't gotten in, so we kind of got out before the rush and this whole thing, the supply and demand for various things and food and things like that. So we did our best to get out ahead of this, and we keep sending these PPE stuff around. In the last month or so, everybody's gotten in the hunt of it, so I'm inundated with different things that come out. But thanks to Bob, we've stayed in front of this for the most part, and at this point I'll turn it over to him to give you an update on where we are with the important areas that he's worked on. Bob?
Yeah, personal protective equipment, we've all heard about that, PPE. We'll have reusable masks as well as disposable masks to back that up. So those will be issued when we start school. We have purchased face shields for the staff to wear when they need to or want to. With the staff, we've worked on sourcing physical barriers or shields, if you will, for the classrooms and the cafeterias. We started taking delivery of some of those materials today, actually this afternoon, and the rest will all be delivered and installed before school starts. Along with the PPE, we mentioned, the nurse have mentioned hand washing to complement or help out where we cannot wash our hands. Any classroom that doesn't have a sink in it, today we were able to install wall-mounted hand cleaning stations. So again, it was because we placed an order so early, we were able to get in line and get ours. The supplier that helped us today do the installation actually had told me that they're still waiting for another $14,000 hand dispensers to be delivered. So it was fortunate that we got our order in well ahead of time, way out in the spring. I'd like to take off a little bit, if I will, on indoor air quality to, again, help the whole environment within the school building. You've heard us talk about before that we need to finish actually installing the elementary school air handler, and that work will be done in the month of September. We have completed all of the internal work above all the ceilings and in walls and everything. That included all the duct work, all the heating controls, which allowed us to then reoccupy all of the classrooms at the elementary school. So it's the top and bottom floors there, as well as the library and the teacher's room. A total of 14 classroom locations, or about a little bit under 14,000 square feet. So all of those spaces have been cleaned like they normally would be during the summer. That work is done by the whole staff in Milton, so all of the new custodians have been working hard at the elementary school all this week. We were able to turn over the top floor at the elementary school to teachers today, and we'll be able to continue that as of tomorrow to be able to look at accepting teachers on the first floor. And we'll just ask that anyone that comes in tomorrow at the elementary school leave by 4 p.m. so we can continue and finish getting the hallways buttoned up. So continuing along with indoor air quality, there are a lot of spaces in Milton, perhaps about 14% of the classroom spaces and office spaces that do not have the advantage of having an air handler of any sort. So what we've done is we've purchased and have started receiving HEPA filter systems sized for the rooms. And when those systems are on high, they'll give us at least 3 air turns per hour. So that's above what is recommended even when you design an air handler system. So looking at ordered deliveries, I anticipate that all of those will be in and be able to be installed before school opens as well. So I think I got everything. Jen or Sue or Dawn, did I miss anything there?
Okay, go ahead.
Good. Okay, thank
So
you.
big. The what was it? The iWave? Whatever it was.
Yep,
Bob?
the iWave units are units to add into our existing air handlers that we have for the elementary, excuse me, the new middle school and also the library. We have a request for a 50% down payment that's in the, it's in your packet tonight for sign off. After that, we'll be able to get those orders placed and look at when we can receive those and install those. Those units will help aggregate molecules and help them drop out faster, which results in a little better air quality for each of the systems.
Yeah, no, I knew what they did. I was just wondering because you didn't mention them, whether they had been ordered or not, so.
Yeah, one little tweak on the, made me think about it. One of the two kindergarten furnaces, because they each have their own, didn't have the ability to run the fan whenever they wanted to improve the air circulation. So that was actually corrected this weekend too. So we added, it needed 3 wires. We needed to add another conductor in order to make that work. So now the thermostat can call the fan. So both units will work the same now down there.
Paul, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I just wanted to give just a shout out to Bob for everything. I know he's been a very busy summer and spring. I know the driveways are done now. The air handler systems are working. Fire alarm systems going in. So, I mean, they can't say that, that we're not doing what we told the public we would do. So that's a good thing. So summer off is not summer off for Bob.
Never.
Okay.
Ed?
Yeah, I have one last question, and I don't know whether Bob or Jan will answer this, but talking about people, going into the building, teachers and whatever, and the kids, and temperature taking, and Jan said that there is this fantastic new thing that is going to be installed at the entrances, and you walk through, and it's going to take your temperature. Are they installed, and has anybody walked through and had their temperature taken yet? Oh,
Yeah, 5 times.
5 times. All right.
They are in.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure they were actually working because I thought that was a great idea.
Yeah, the elementary school has 2 entry points. Those are up and working. The DVR is installed. Newt, we have one at the front entry working remote, which can help us tomorrow morning when everyone arrives. And then the finish of the installation for a total of 3 door entries at Newt will be completed tomorrow with its DVR.
Oh, love it. Love it. Thank you.
I walked by it today and you don't even have to be that close. You don't even have to look at it. And it told me my temperature was good.
So
I
if
read
it's
out what my
100,
temperature was.
does it beep? And if it's 100?
100.4, yeah, you don't get the green light, you get a red light.
And what happens? Does it beep and alarms go off? And
Laser.
It makes a comment that your temperature is not okay.
But
It also
then
goes
what
that you
happens?
don't have a mask.
And, right, if you don't have a mask on, it's going to tell you.
I had a mask on.
That's right.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. You guys really have thought of everything.
So if this is part of the 3A, right? The follow reopening procedure and all that. Is that what we're doing right now? Was this still the administrative report?
Still on it.
Yeah.
So I just have a quick question because I don't know if other people have been asked about it as well. I've got asked about it because I have 4 kids that are still in the school system, and I have other kids' friends come over and parents. Can you explain more, or maybe put out something more in detail about the cohorts and how they were picked and why they were picked? The reasons that, for instance, if a student has, like, for instance, my son is a senior this year. He lives, down towards Milton more. He's going Monday, Wednesday with all his, luckily he got the same day as all his friends. My stepson is going on an opposite day because all his friends live in Milton, but he also has his dad's address in Milton. What is the parents have asked, like, well, this, unfortunately, today's society, there's a lot of divorced people that, they don't want to break up their social circles. I understand the cohorts of, I understand the reason why, because if everybody wanted to pick their own days, we'd have 1,000 people going on Monday and nobody on Tuesday. But is there a reason? How did we come about doing what we did? Is it 100% geographical and nothing more? Or is it, I mean, did we take the social circles in mind, or how does that work? Is it for the buses and that kind of thing? Or for instance, if a student drives, can they be part of a different cohort because they have the ability to do it themselves? So just to recap, because I've had a couple other parents ask besides myself, obviously.
Kind of all the above. But, do you want to go, Jan?
So it was done geographical for a combination of reasons. One, for the buses. So we're only having the buses go to 2 neighborhoods every day. And then also for family units and neighborhoods. So the thought is that if everyone in the same neighborhood is going on the same days, the days that they're at home, they're going to be able to support each other better. And also, we're trying not to mix the germs of the cohorts, so that if we have a positive case on a purple day, we really only have to worry about the students that were there on the purple day. The gold day students would still be fine because they've been isolated from that group. We understand there are, families that have 2 addresses. We chose the primary address. So we've had a few requests, and right now we're still waiting for all the forms to get back to see whether people who live in 2 households, do we have the room to move them to the other household's address? But it was done to try to keep family units intact and neighborhoods intact. And then yes, buses are only going to that neighborhood on those days, not on the other days.
Okay, thank you. Perfect. That's a perfect answer. I hope people are watching this.
John, did you have something to add?
No, that's it. We were in agreement. That's how we came up with it as a district and not by school. So, and it also, it's for contact tracing as well. I mean, that's a good term to realize that if there is an issue with an infection in school, we're looking at half the town, because it's not just going to be school kids, and it's going to be, CDC or whatever in the town, and it's only half the town that would have to look at a time.
Perfect. Thank you for your help with that. So it's good to have an answer for that as well.
Correct, Paul. All of the above. When we started out, as we explained, we created the pods in all of all of what we just said. Also, it would help with childcare on the days that the students aren't there. The folks that lived right near them, they would be going the same day. But then the last part of it is, you said that was what we had discussed today. So, there's prescriptive things that occur where perhaps when we began in the addresses we had to go from in terms of geography, the student was in one home, but then as events occurred during the last month or 2 or whatever, they had moved to a new home. So Jan and John, we discussed that today. They've each worked with a couple of situations. But Paul, we've explained how it came about, and it took a great deal of work. Tim worked with John and Jan on this, and then we took into account, in terms of the class size. But if there's a prescriptive arrangement where domestically somebody has gone to a different home or whatever the case is, they will take up that case.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you all for the answers. Very good answers.
Thank you. Thank you. Rob Qua, a great deal has been in the news about students that are SPED students and that have IEPs. And actually, prescriptively, we have worked with the students over July and August. And there are some schools that might have ended school in May, and then they didn't have students in. So that was why the concern upon the state and the special education students not being able to work one-on-one or small group in school. But as we said, actually in July and August, we had 10 to 15% of the students in as far as groups were concerned, small groups were concerned. So Rob, can you speak a little bit about the prescriptive things you've done for those students. And then also too, on the quote days that they may not be in per se, you might bring them in, and assuredly in the middle high school, they're being brought in as a whole separate cohort the last day of the week. So Rob, you could speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm real lucky to have the team and the people that I have. I feel like we've been out in front of this from the very beginning. Even in the spring, we were able to see small groups of students. In the summer, we expanded that a great deal. We were able to bring in students of all kinds of different ability levels in order to provide services through ESY. And so now with that experience under our belt, I feel very confident that we'll be able to meet the needs of all students across the board. We're planning our remote instruction, which is great, but there are a great deal of students that was very, very challenging for. So in order to try to make up for some of that and close those gaps, we're looking at bringing kids in on 1 or 2 of their off days during the week in order to receive some specialized instruction from their case managers or some related services, or even some things that we bring in from outside, like the Northeast Passage program that provides community experiences to some of our students who can benefit from those sorts of things. So we got a lot of work to do, marrying these schedules with these plans for services, but we hit the ground running today. Again, every case manager and paraprofessional in this district is doing an outstanding job. They have been through this entire thing. They've taken on every challenge that has come their way and just blown it out of the water. So we are all really lucky to have them, and they are prepared to do much more good work.
Hey, Earl.
Okay, thank you, Rob. Thank you. At this point now, we're going to have Jan and John. We'll start with John, and he could speak to where they are as far as the cohorts. And as Paul did allude to, the communication as far as folks are concerned, the parents are concerned. We've been sending a lot of things home. We've been gathering a lot of information, and we'd like to thank the parents for it. We've tried not to confuse them with it, as some of them have students in each of the schools, but we needed to do this in order to be on task, on time, so we could get things out in a time when everyone would know what to expect. So at this point, I'll turn it over to John and Jan, and they can help explain and communicate so that parents understand where each of them are and where they are in terms of the input that they need at this point. Okay, John, you can begin.
Well, the cohorts are all set. We have assigned homerooms, and some groups received their hybrid teacher and their homeroom teacher. They received a letter that said whether they were in the purple group or the gold group. Those went out this week. They received them today. The only group that hasn't is the hybrid, the fully remote group. I am still putting together the plan for the 11th, so I'm sending out an alert now tomorrow to just that small cohort group and letting them know what information they're going to get. So that's the last of the communication that's going to be going out from the school. We're waiting for the letters that come back and all the forms to come back. I have reached out to parents through the Alert Now system to let them know, and because it was about the due dates. The mail has been kind of all over the place. So what I've done is I've put that out there that parents could can email me and I would answer emails, and I answered emails all weekend, any questions they had. And I put that out there also that, my phone, when we were mostly remote, if they call my extension during certain times, it would come right to my cell phone. They would find me right away, and I would be able to answer their questions. So we've communicated, and I've gotten some great comments from parents about the communication. Yes, the mail went out in different times because we had different needs that we had to put with it. Like, for example, the last mailing, I had to mail merge all my letters and put that out with all the other district mailings that were going out. But everything seems to be out, and I've heard from parents. I've talked to them about different cohort groups and what the needs were and why they were where they were, and everything seems to be working out well. Parents seem very happy with the plan.
Anybody have any questions for him? Thank you, John. Okay,
Jan?
Same thing for us. We've done 2 mailings now with the opt-in, opt-out form of food. You know, do they want to take the bag lunch home at the end of the day? A technology survey, the screening affidavit. So we've got about half back. So again, parents, some have been great and are dropping it off at the school versus mailing it back so we can get them. On Friday, we're going to start calling the ones that we don't have back because we do need the paperwork to be able to finalize who's in school and who's remote. So guidance has been working really hard. Right now, they have pretty much everybody scheduled in school, and then as we get the paperwork, we'll move them to the remote. The other thing for us, we've now scheduled our 6th grade orientation. The message will be going out to parents tonight. It will be September 2nd in 2 different sessions. So quick give the times. The purple cohort of 6th graders will meet from 11 to 12, and the gold cohort will meet from 1 to 2 on the 2nd. But there's an email going to 6th grade parents tonight on the schedule and what we'll be doing that day and the procedures for entering the building. Additionally, the 8th grade promotion ceremony is going to be virtual Zoom because we can't have them all back. Again, 2 different cohorts of students together. So that message will also be going out this evening. And we are mailing home, or we were going to offer for parents to pick up if they want, but mailing home their certificate, their promotion certificate, any academic awards they got. We'll have a sticker on it saying, please do not open it until the evening of the 2nd when we go through the ceremony. So that will be, Tammy, I know that finally answers your question. So 8th grade promotion will be through Zoom at 6 p.m. on September 2nd.
Thank you.
any questions, anybody for him? Hey, Earl, anything else?
Okay, the last on behalf of the administrative team is the student handbooks that you received, and we'll start again with John and then Jan and Jen, and we'll go through that. John?
Do you want to jump out of sequence then?
I'm sorry, I guess if you want to get them done at this point, it's your fault, Doug.
Okay with I have no problem with it.
Okay, John?
So I'm just going over the handbooks, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Page 85?
Page 85, yes. So this is the staff handbook. As I went through it, it was like either we write an entire new book because there are a lot of things that have changed and due to COVID, and a lot of it has to do with kind of like looking at the addendum. So I put in an addendum. And then what I would do is most of the time, what I went through is just basically identified where they would please refer to the addendum. Like, for example, the first one is attendance. And then attendance will be taken during remote days. Students not participating in remote instruction will be counted as absent, and to an extent can be counted as truant. So that goes toward the addendum as well. So I put in basically areas where I think that it would be changed because of our COVID plan. And I had the dots there where you had to where the actual changes were for this year. And of course the trimester schedule. And I put it at the back, like I said, is the addendum that has the information for, like I said, the instructional plan. So any questions on the staff handbook? Anybody?
I have a couple questions.
Who's that?
It's Emily. I just don't
Okay.
have my audio on because
Okay.
it was messing up my thing. So and I think the questions I have, I think, are in both the staff handbook and the student handbook. And one you actually just mentioned, it said, truancy might apply it to some extent for remote dates, but led me to some questions about the remote expectations in general. So 2 questions right off the bat is, I'm kind of curious, what does that mean to some extent? And also, well, I guess before I ask that, what is the expectation for remote days for like hybrid students? Is it a totally asynchronous thing? Other than, I understand that Friday for Newt kids, it is synchronous. It is an expectation, if I remember correctly, that they're all on for the same time on Friday morning. Other than that, any remote day for hybrid students, is it asynchronous?
No. For hybrid students, they have assignments that they have to complete in their tasks that they need to complete. So they can sign on with teachers, they can ask questions. It depends on the grade level that they're looking at, like for grades 1 and 2. They have their off days, the remote day that they will have an assignment. They will have a unified arts to complete. This is counted as a day in school. So we have to make sure that the assignments that are done, that students are doing it. Now, it's not going to be that they have to sign in during a certain time, but they can. For example, when we have like the grades 3 to 5, they have instruction going on from the unified arts teacher for in regular ed classroom. And they would be teaching the remote students. So students can sign on to review the lesson again, get support and so forth. But at times sometimes they don't even need to log on to actual Google Classroom to connect, but they do have to complete the work and the assignment the next day.
Yeah, that was my question. Just making sure it's not an expectation to follow a specific schedule on the remote days. It's just a completion of work. Is that correct? Okay. Correct. Except for Fridays, right?
Correct. They need to log in to see their teachers. There will be instruction. There will be work on Fridays.
Okay, but they're like, I'm talking about like scheduling. Will there be an expectation of a certain like window, of time? Okay.
Yes, we'll put out a schedule of class period times, and they will get a link from their teachers of what, to log in, and they'll be taking attendance at those times when they log into class.
Okay, and that's just for Newt on just Fridays, not the other remote days, correct?
Correct. There are a couple teachers who are going to ask their students to log in remotely on their at-home days, and they'll be providing links for that. So there are some teachers who are wanting all kids to be in every day, whether they're in class or at home, to be able to continue their instruction and answer questions. So they'll be providing links for those students.
Okay. And is there any flexibility on that? Because I just want to be careful that kids aren't having things held against them that really aren't in their control.
Yep, I think that would be, if there's a student who's unable to do that, I think you contact the teacher, and if you don't feel like it's resolved, then you let me know.
Okay, great. And then a very MES specific question, John, I saw in there that Monday community meetings will be remote. Is that going to be something that's required for Gold students?
No, we're going to do it I think we're going to do on Tuesday as well. We're going to have a Monday and a Tuesday. So I'll just be in my office and I'll broadcast it.
Okay, sounds good. And then one more question. I saw in the handbook that it said recess is only 15 minutes. Is that true?
Is that a new one?
It had one of the new dots, but it said something about mask, and I was assuming the mask was the new thing. So I was just wondering if that was something that just was still in there from before, or if it had actually been a change this year that recess is only 15 minutes. Unless I'm crazy. I thought I saw it.
I'd have to look at the schedule. I believe that there was a reduction in recess time because of staffing and how long we could keep the kids outside and so forth. So, do you know what page that is?
I can check.
in the staff handbook or are we looking at the,
I think
family?
it's in the family one.
Okay, that's,
It might have been also in the teacher one. Most of the stuff I saw was in both. I'm just not sure if that one was.
Yeah.
And it definitely was one of the new things. Oh, you know what it is? It's under student dress. That's why. Because it's talking about dressing for weather, and it says students are outside for 15-minute recess period. So page 23 of the family handbook or 142 of the board packet, whichever is easiest for you to reference. Oh, I just got a message that, no, that lunch recess is still 25 minutes from Mrs. Doan.
yeah, okay, yeah, this is an old, I think, winter, spring, yeah, this is an old, I guess that's an old one.
Okay, that's what I
15-minute
thought.
part.
I just wanted, that's what I thought.
The back, the only thing new to that part was district mass policy, but what I'll do is, I'm just gonna take out, with the board's, okay, I'm just gonna take out the time period. I was just saying, students are outside for a period of time for recess every day.
Great, awesome. Thank you, John, and thank you, Mrs. Stone.
So back to the staff handbook. Any other questions on the staff handbook? Okay. So family handbook, same thing. There are dots. I like I said, there's a lot of similarities. We talk about visitors, how the visitors, there's going to be some restrictions. So any place where we had restrictions, that's where most of the changes are. And also I did put in the plan in the back of the book and yeah, the hybrid model, the addendum.
Do you have any questions for him on the second book? I need a motion to adopt both, please.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. I'll second it. Do I have any more discussion?
No, sorry, I was on mute.
Let's- Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Everybody- All five of you? Thank you. That's for both books.
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, John. Okay, Earl?
Okay, the last thing we have is sports. Micah, our AD, will give you an update on that.
Earl, you're jumping around again.
Yes, I
We
know that.
got Jan.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jan could do sports with it too. I have so many items.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I highlighted all my changes, but I see that they didn't gray out in your book, so you'd be able to see them, but made it harder on you. But are there any comments on the faculty staff handbook?
Anybody?
Nope.
Okay. Anything on the student parent handbook?
Nope.
Other than it's missing the last page for you guys of the index.
All right.
Any questions for anybody? All right, I need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to accept both the staff and family Newt handbooks.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? Aye.
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 Yeah, I got all five, thank you. Okay, now, Earl, sports.
Yes, Micah, please. And Jan.
As of right now, the update for sports is that it is still kind of updating. We're in a constant state of kind of like readjusting. The most current update that we have is that varsity sports that are being offered by schools are being pushed forward, and they're doing so at a regional level. So for Newt, that means that our girls volleyball team will have a season of some kind. And it will be played against teams who are also offering varsity volleyball, girls volleyball in our immediate area. I've reached out to different schools that are regional, some that are kind of on the cusp, just to see who's willing to play. I've got a few lined up, just looking for dates, hoping to add a few to that, but that's an ever-evolving situation. in terms of non-varsity sports, and this can basically go for almost all sports that we offer besides our volleyball team right now, is very much a big question mark due to the fact that a lot of schools have already made the decision not to offer sub-varsity sports, and a lot of schools are on the fence. So we are waiting for more updates from schools that we've played in the past about what they're going to do. The sports that this kind of applies to is our club / JV soccer team for high school, our middle school soccer team, and our middle school volleyball. Middle school volleyball probably has the best chance of having a season due to the fact that we are in an established league for the past few years. I've talked to their commissioner, and they're talking to the schools about who is willing to play and who is not. For soccer, on both sides, it's looking fairly bleak as the schools that we normally play, we're not in an official league. It was more so just for us to schedule. Those schools that we normally play have a couple have already said that they are not offering sub-varsity sports, but looking hopefully for more updates at the end of this week, possibly next week. So basically right now, volleyball is a go. Varsity volleyball is a go, and we are waiting for more updates in terms of anything sub-varsity.
Anybody questions for him or Jan on sports? Earl, do you have anything more on that?
No, thank you so much. Thank you.
So you all set, Earl?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, let's go back to 3B. Any questions for Nate?
Of course.
Peg?
Of course. I actually went through this, and there really is nothing that I've not already questioned, health and blah, 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 and the different movement of people and hiring of additional paras. But my big question really is, has everything been taken out of the operating budget that we had talked about?
Not in this report. There's two things missing out of this report. It was updated this morning. The math books for about 24,000 for John's school, and then there was a 6950 for something that Bob did.
Something Bob did.
Yeah, it was either the grease trap or the air ducts. I don't remember which one.
Okay, how about the computers and stuff?
Yep, those are already taken out of this.
Okay. All right, only because I had a budget committee meeting last night and, just said, sorry, we're still not ready. It needs to go to the school board before you guys get anything. So, so we don't really have a figure to give back to the town yet, right, Nate?
I am almost done with the MS-25 and the DOE 25.
Okay, all right. Okay, the only other question I had was on the revenue report. The first item, the current appropriation into the general fund, we got 26,000 more than we were supposed to. Isn't that what we get from the town?
No, the first line, the current appropriation, the very first line is what we get from the town, and that's exactly what we're supposed to get. So that 26,000 you're seeing is the combined for the general fund. So for example, E-rate, we got $22,000 more than we anticipated.
Right.
Transportation, we got 9,000 more than we anticipated. And CAD aid, we got 12,000 more than we anticipated.
Okay, so that all adds up to the
26, yeah. Well, there's a couple of lines in there too, but those are the big ones.
Okay, now that just stood out that I thought, all right. Give
no,
us
we
need.
got exactly what we're supposed to from the town.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't even realize you were jumping to the revenue report.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So that figure's gonna go even lower, that 308?
That figure will be, will be around 236,000. Because there was a few transactions that needed to get done. I can tell you the MS-25 and the DOE-25 will be done. I'm hoping tomorrow, Friday at the latest, and it does look like we'll be giving back about 195,000.
Back to the town?
Yes.
Now,
That's after warrant articles.
okay. So the warrant articles, 195 have been taken out then at that point.
The 125 for the warrant articles for surplus has been taken out, and then it'll be 195 to go back.
Okay, now you're gonna need us to come in and sign the MS-25 and the DOE-25?
Yes. I'm hoping Friday, yeah.
You send us out a message and.
I'll send you out a message, and I'll send electronic copies as well, so you guys can look at it.
No, then you'll need the manifest signed also.
Manifest. I also am trying to get reimbursements from the public safety grants that we got that Bob's been working so hard on. And those will require every board member to sign in front of a
Kathy.
yeah, notary. That's the word I was looking for. So we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna do that, but all 5 of you guys will have to sign that one.
Which one's this one? I'm sorry.
It's, I believe there's 3 of them right now that we've closed for the grants for the security that we've done.
We all need to sign them.
Yeah.
There's 3 of them.
Yeah, they're ready. We're just gonna need to coordinate. I was thinking I was gonna email you individually and try to set something up. I know it'll be difficult for a few of you. Well, we'll figure it out.
Tomorrow I can do mine.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Anybody, anytime after 4:15, 4:30ish, I can do it.
Okay.
I'm just thinking, Tammy, you are a notary, aren't you?
I was just gonna say that. Yes, I am.
Yes, but the problem is the same person's gotta watch you guys do the same ones. There's 3 things to sign and only one notary that can do it. So she's gonna have to, whoever does it is gonna have to see all 5 of you do it. That's why I figured Kathy would be easier.
I know, but I'm thinking of Paul because he works, Melissa. You know, I mean, Doug and Emily and I seem to be able to pop in during the day sometime, but.
I'm not worried. We'll figure it out. If I have to stay late, that's fine.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Any more questions on that before is the revenue report okay with everybody?
Yep.
37 and 38? You might find myself here. 39 and 44. Monthly grant report, anybody?
Good.
We all set? Okay. Moving on. Right, we're moving on. Okay, thank you. All right, go home. Somebody else is talking to me in the back. Okay, moving on to page 45 to 66. Treasurer's reports. Earl, I thought we was gonna have Mackenzie to be here.
I didn't reach him.
Oh, all right. Does anybody have any questions on these?
No, just a comment that I'm glad that we got to at least where we did. So June, he'll have June, or will he have June done by the MS 4632, whatever they're all called, you know?
Yeah, actually, I'll reach out to him.
Okay.
To double check that. I just want it known that this wasn't his fault that he got backed up. It was the system.
Yeah, no, I know. And
I just want to make that sure. He did a very good job getting all this done. Once we got July figured out, he just went right through them all.
Well, I do have to say that I did mention that last night also at the budget committee that, you know, because I questioned you about it and you told me and I related that.
Yeah, and that issue we had in July, we know what happened, so it's not going to happen again. So this won't happen again.
Okay,
It's
do we
been
need a mo-
rectified.
We need a motion to accept these?
I will make a motion to accept all of the treasurer's reports for October through May.
I'll second.
For October? Or is it before that?
No, it's October.
Okay.
Aye.
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 All right, thank you very much. Okay. Bank reconciliation report, page, that's October 31st, 2019 to May 31st, 2020, page 67 through 74. So it must be the same thing. They had a
It
problem.
matches, yeah, it's the treasurer's report. It matches, our system matches the treasurer's report.
So we're all set. Do we need a motion for these also, or what?
You've always done it in the past, so you might as well.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the school district reports, reconciliation reports.
Second.
Oh, any questions? Aye.
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 Okay, thank you. Page 75. Page 76. Food service operating costs for May of 2020. Have any questions? Ed?
We have a negative balance. I'm in a negative. All right, we have a loss, but it's not as bad as it.
It's not as bad as they projected, and it's not nearly as bad as it was last year. Last year at this time, we're at 35,000 in the hole.
So is that the 26,597?
Yeah.
That's what they projected.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
We all set with that?
Yep.
All right. Moving on, page 77 to 84. 84, that's your balances in your trust funds on the back side. That's what's in there right now. So we haven't made our deposits then yet.
No.
So,
The latest one is as of what, April?
No, there's June in there. But I had to finish, I have to officially finish the MS-25 before I have to make those deposits.
Okay.
okay, all right.
So
Yeah.
probably next week we'll be sending them out.
Okay, everybody understand?
Yeah.
Because we have a, yeah, okay. All right. Okay, okay, moving on. Tim Eldridge, you there? Tim?
Yep, right here.
Go ahead.
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yeah, now.
All
yeah.
right. So right now I've got the quotes that have been provided for you guys, and basically I'm just looking for like a conditional support of that I put forward. The unfortunate part is we're going between August and September, and some of the car dealerships, well, all of the car dealerships have indicated that the promotions, of course, end on the 31st and then new ones start. And we wouldn't be purchasing the van until the 9th. Approving on the 9th.
Excuse me.
Now, Nate, so on page 84, we have 19,884 and 58 cents in that trust fund.
Yep.
Okay, so it depends which one we pick. We're gonna need additional money.
Yeah, but we're getting, shoot, I can't remember. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Out of surplus, we are getting, come on, an additional 15,000.
So we'll be, that'd be about $35,000 we'll have.
Yeah.
Okay. So the question to Tim, Do you have a recommendation for us?
Yeah, at this point, I would recommend that we go with the Dodge Caravan. That's what we've been purchasing. They seem to be working out okay. Personally, I would have liked the Toyota. They seem to last a little bit longer, but obviously the price reflects that. So, so I'm fine with the Dodge Caravan.
That's the 27,975 from Dover Honda?
No,
Oh, the Jeep.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay. That's 30,052, all right. All right.
Huh.
You said Jeep, I was taking that. Anybody have any? So, you will make a motion to, I'll make a motion that we buy the Tri-City Chrysler Dodge Jeep 2020 Grand Caravan SE for $30,052.00.
Before you make that, well,
Actually-
you've already made the motion, but hold that motion. I'm just looking for conditional support tonight.
Okay.
No approval,
Okay.
because the price will more than likely adjust a little one way or the other, depending on their promotions that they put out through the dealership.
Well, I'll withdraw
So,
the motion. Nate?
okay, thank you.
Nate?
Actually, Tim, do you think it would, what's the chance of it going down?
I'm not sure. They had no idea what the September's promotions would be.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Now that I know that we're having enough money for the surplus, we can, if the board approves it, we can get it now. My only concern was making sure we had enough for surplus, but I figured out today that we do. So we don't have to wait until September 9th.
So we would still have to wait for the public hearing.
The public hearings to take money out of the
Capital reserve.
the trust fund, yeah.
Now, would that change which one we buy or stick with the same one?
Well, my concern is if it goes up between now and next week, even. But that's Tim's the expert on that.
Because we're only shy on that Toyota, we're only shy about $750.
You know what? I have a question for Tim.
Yeah.
Tim?
Yes.
Hi, it's Peg. Rochester Toyota, is that the very, very, very best figure that they could give you? Only because I will be very honest. I mean, I have pushed Rochester Toyota since they actually delivered a brand new vehicle to me in New York from Rochester after a serious accident. And I mean, I just keep touting them, and I'm thinking, if you told them that Peg Hurd sent you there, I wonder if they would do anything.
Probably raise it.
Oh, come on, Paul.
Is that Toyota Sienna? Is that all-wheel drive, Tim?
That one is not the all-wheel drive.
Okay,
It
I wasn't
is-
sure. I knew a lot of them were, so, okay.
Yep.
Is the Caravan?
No, they're all just front-wheel drive.
Okay.
And as far as the best price, basically, I told them all that it was for the school district, you know, and you know, what our situation was. So I would assume that they all sharpened their pencils the best they could. But I didn't like hold them down and say, okay, you know, do something better.
Would you like me to go hold him down? I may be old and short, but you know.
Yeah, but if we could if we possibly said, okay, this is the exact amount of money that we have in the trust fund. This is what we could buy the Sienna for. See if they will take that. Negotiate.
Yeah. Do you want me to try tomorrow, Tim?
He does have experience
Uh,
negotiating.
Pardon?
You do have experience negotiating.
Just a little bit.
You're only shy $618.36 for that Toyota.
Are they
Oh,
gonna
I'll
walk
take it
away
in.
over $600?
Can we make some kind of a motion? Oh.
How much money
Tonight,
do we have? How much money do we have for a van?
Well, my figure's right, Nate, 34,884.
yeah, 34, what did you say, 884? I'm reading
Yep.
the number, yes.
I
Yeah,
make a motion that
Yeah.
we spend up to the 34,888 and change for the purchase of a new vehicle.
but we don't want to spend all of it though.
Yeah, leave $1.
Okay, we'll leave $1, but whatever the other figure is, that's my motion.
How about 34,800? We'll keep $33 in there.
All right, that sounds good.
Am I the only one that doesn't understand what is wrong with the Honda? Did I miss something?
I don't know.
I mean, it's a lot cheaper. A Honda's a good van too.
Tim?
Yeah, I don't disagree that Honda is a good vehicle. And actually, I think Toyota and Honda, I actually have both vehicles in my yard. But when I went to the dealership, I couldn't confirm on the numbers. And so I'm a little leery that that lower number isn't the true number. So that's why I was nervous going forward with that.
Right.
Emily, go ahead.
I mean, I don't know. I guess if we're talking about talking to Rochester Toyota again, can we talk to Dover Honda again? I mean, that's $7,000 something. I don't know. I guess it seems like we're working really hard to get a Toyota, and I don't know exactly why. I mean, I get it. By the way, I know I had a Toyota Sienna. It was a great van. But I just feel like that's a big price difference. And when we have an option that doesn't have to deplete our account, I guess I don't really understand why we're not pursuing that a little harder.
I agree with that. I mean, if we buy the Honda Odyssey at that price, we're still gonna have 7,000 in our account. I think that's a much better option. And, if we have the ability to buy a vehicle like that at that said price and save the taxpayers some money or keep money in the accounts and watch what we spend, like we've been telling the public we're going to do, I think that's a good way to do it.
And I mean, realistically, even if it comes in a little higher, it's still lower than the Caravan. And I would buy a Honda over a Caravan any day. Sorry.
So I guess that is a good idea. So if somebody asks us, why did we pick the Toyota over the Honda?
Right?
What are we going to tell them?
Melissa, what was your original, wait a minute. Melissa, what was your original motion? Because it wasn't.
Up to $34,000 to make a purchase of a vehicle.
Which vehicle?
I think whatever the best one we can get for the price. I mean, if the best price is Honda, then you have the money for Honda.
So can someone answer the question I asked?
You do up to, and I mean, it's your guys' choice.
No, why would we purchase the Toyota when we can get a Honda for $7,000 less?
Right.
That's the question that everybody else is going to ask when we determine this.
I mean, it's certainly the one I'm asking.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess maybe, Tim, and I'm assuming you have looked at, I don't know, breakage rate and repair rate and repairs. I mean, I have just always had a Toyota and loved them and, no problems at all, versus a Honda. So I don't know. Have you really looked at, like Consumer Reports?
They're certainly comparable. And again, the only reason, because I was really down to the wire when they finally got me a number from Honda. I'd gone to all the dealerships Honda was the one that was really at the last minute that I put on the paper. Actually, Kathy was getting ready to photocopy the information, so it literally came in like 5 minutes before she says, "Tim, give me that information." So I wasn't 100% sure on that number they were giving me, so that's the only reason that I have all the background information as I did with the other ones. That the other numbers were definitely a firm number, and if in fact you guys choose to go forward, going with Melissa's option, just giving us the ability to go back out to those dealerships, again, make sure that the best price and the number is actually firm, then obviously we would shop for the best vehicle for the district. So
I guess I look at repair rate, breaking down rate, because if we buy, quote unquote, a cheaper vehicle and we end up spending the rest of the trust fund repairing it all the time, to me, that just is not a wise purchase, because how long is it going to be in the shop, blah, blah, blah. So that's why I asked him if you had checked out, like the Consumer Reports on all of them.
Oh,
So I guess that's, you can't go, yeah, I understand the Consumer Reports and all that, but
Yeah,
a new vehicle is going to be a new vehicle.
that's right.
And it's going to have the same coverage and same warranties as other new vehicles. And being that we're on a hybrid model right now, we're going to be having half of the students running that would normally be running. I don't want to rush into this yet.
Yeah, I feel like I understand researching cars, but I think when you have even within models, it varies year to year. So we really don't know how the van is going to exactly hash out. I feel like a new van is a new van, and I don't feel like I can justify saying, oh yeah, spend more money when it's a brand new van, no matter how you slice it.
When the warranty wears out, what happens? I understand warranties. Yes. I don't know. Just, that's my 2 cents. I guess my whole philosophy is you get what you pay for. So
I can tell you, as far as maintenance goes, our vehicles are in every 5,000 miles, getting the services done. We stay on top of what needs to be done for the vehicles. Personally, I had a Toyota that was $310,000, a Toyota Sienna. I've got another Honda that's somewhere over the 200,000 mark. Both of them are going strong. So I think as long as you're staying on top of the maintenance, no matter what the vehicle is, it's gonna keep going. I can tell you, the Dodge Caravans, they do show the wear. I can't tell you that a Dodge vehicle lasts as long as the Toyota, and obviously the Honda doesn't have that many miles as the Toyota, but I think long as we stay on top of the maintenance, we would be able to continue with the vehicle.
I'm gonna go to Earl and then Peg. Earl?
Hey, one thing Paul had pointed out today at the administrative meeting, as we discussed it, the students going to CDC, to the trade school, aren't starting until October 1st because Dover is not going back to school. And Rob Quav, he's still on. Some of his students are going to be working remote too. So it looks like, in terms of the, like Paul was saying, time is a little bit more on our side due to the uniqueness of what we're now experiencing.
Peg and then to Jan. Peg and then Jan.
Hey, Tim, another question. Do these prices include like an extended warranty or anything, or is it just the 36,000 miles?
Just the standard warranty that comes with the vehicle.
Okay, which is generally about 36,000, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Jan?
Just to clarify, they will be starting, but it will be remote, so we won't be transporting them, but they will have classes. In fact, I think they're starting September 2nd. So they will have classes, they just will be logging in remotely until October 1st. So we're not transporting them.
Earl?
That was what I meant. I said we're working remote. We were talking about what we would need as far as the vans. I was only referring to that piece that we won't need to transport them until the 1st.
Okay, we don't have a second. Do we want Tim to go back and see if we can get a better deal and see?
One more comment. Go back to what the original thought was. If you, again, just kind of make a conditional approval, it's not anything locking us into anything, just so that when I go back to the dealerships on or after the 1st of September, I can say, okay, I need whatever the new price is, so that when we come to the September 9th board meeting, I'll have that new updated price.
Paul, where'd you go?
Yeah, same. I just want to reiterate what we said before, though. You know, we have to have a reason why we spend what we spend. As long as we do that, I'm happy with whatever vehicle we purchase, as long as it's justified. So that's the biggest thing for me. You know, we're still trying to get a plow truck, you know, so we got to keep that in mind that, okay, well, they had a budget to buy a van, you know, they blew an extra $7,000 to get the Toyota. Well, this is why we've spent the $7,000 more. It's because of this, this, and this. So remember, everything we do right now has repercussions. So I'm just saying, keep that in mind. And obviously I'll be happy with whatever vehicle we get, and as long as it does the job.
So where are we going?
Let them go back to searching some more for it and make sure we get everything we need.
What the board wants to do?
Yes.
With me.
Okay. Is that everybody?
Yeah.
I don't
So
see.
just so that I'm clear on what I'm doing, I will go back and get the updated prices after September 1st. I'll bring those numbers forward for the September 9th meeting. Nate, we have to have the public hearing too that night, correct?
Yes.
Just one quick question too.
Okay,
Now,
so
sorry, go ahead, Tim.
Go ahead, Paul. I guess he dropped out.
Yeah, so I guess what I wanted to say is, like, yeah, you went to Dover Honda and looked, but did we try Honda Bar and Stratum? Are they have pretty comparable prices, or should we, since we have a little more time, can we try a couple different dealerships?
I can certainly do that.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's going back then.
Okay.
Table for now?
Yep.
Tabled until September 9th? Okay.
Whoop, I'm fading in and out, so I'm sorry. Are you guys fine with moving forward for the September 9th board meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
Nate?
I just wanted to mention that it'll be a public hearing, so we will need some sort of decision then for whatever he has.
Okay.
All right. Okay, moving on. Okay, my question on 5A is, what type of budget are we gonna make out for 21 and 22? We're gonna make out a budget as if we're open and going full-time, or what are we gonna do? We gotta
In
make.
person, full-time.
What's that?
In person, full-time.
You making that a motion?
I am.
I'll
Yeah.
second.
Yeah, okay. So that's what we want to do, because we got to give our administrators a place to go. Okay. Peg, discussion?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I always get the school board association updates, and there are 2 remote, whatever they call it, webinars on 9/21 and 9/24 on budgeting during COVID. The New Hampshire Municipal Association also is having part of their whole day seminar on budgeting during COVID. So I mean, I have a hard time making a decision right now, not knowing and not having some input from, you know, financial advisors through the school board association. Just saying, I don't know.
Well, anybody's in the board can more than sign up for that webinar on the New Hampshire School Board Association, because 2 weeks ago, you rejoined them. So you're all set there.
But does everybody get the the notice from them? I mean, I know, Earl, you usually send it out to people.
Yes.
But this one, I mean, I did not get from you. I got directly from the school board.
And I didn't get it from them, so you must be important.
Well, that I am. Okay, so I will forward it then to everybody, because I think that's very important. And I don't know if, I mean, we signed up for school board, but I don't know if, you know, like Jan and John can also sign up for this, because we signed up for what? 7 people? 8 people, 10 people, 25 people? I'll send it out to people, and I just think it's important. I really do.
We got a motion and a second on the floor. Any more discussion? Okay, I'm going to vote aye, but for 21 and 22 that we make it this for fully open for full time.
Aye.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Who did I lose?
Okay,
Emily?
Melissa, oh God, she's gone. And what do I do with chat here?
Emily, where's Emily?
She's on
What a big E.
Sorry, I voted aye, but Melissa, she had messaged me a bit ago that her phone battery was dying, so I think that's her phone died.
No, you didn't. She didn't give a vote, did she?
Not for that one, because she'd already gone.
No, yeah, she's gone.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's what, 3?
3-1.
And the other one is out in space. Okay, then that would be Earl, that would be the message to the administrators.
They're all here. We all have it.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Doug, can I just ask a question? What if I don't know. Never mind.
All right.
Never mind.
You could change it down the road. Okay, Bob Adams still here?
Yes, I'm here.
You're up for an update.
Okay. On facilities, we did talk earlier about the elementary school air handler. Was there any questions that you wanted to bring up now about that?
Board members? Anybody?
No, that sounded good, Bob.
Okay. The fire alarm system design was complete. I think the last time I was telling you, we were looking at when that would be presented to the state's fire marshal's office. So that has moved forward now to them and also to the Milton Fire Department. So that's, we'll wait to hear back from them, and we'll see if we need to tweak the design at all.
Question. So only the design has been tweeted. We haven't started construction or anything then.
Correct, we have not.
Okay, go ahead, Bob, I'm sorry.
Sure, the paving work is complete. Any questions on that?
No, but a comment, Bob. I actually, once you took everything down, I actually was going to this turnpike, and I went through this newt. It was like, oh wow, this. I mean, I don't have to dodge. I don't have to, go up on the steps. Very, very, very good. So, yay.
Good.
Okay,
Thank you.
Keep going.
The grease trap project's been completed. We ran into a little bit of a dilemma looking at the original construction prints and buying the new grease trap. So anyway, we had a little bit of additional work that we needed to do to get it fitted up. We did get it running, a good while back, but the actual new finish piece that we needed to manufacture was installed yesterday afternoon. So that project is complete now.
I have one comment to make. I think the people of Milton and all of us need to see because Bob took a picture of that grease trap sitting on the back of the truck. There was nothing left to it. Nothing at all. Okay? This is what's happening to us. We're letting things go, and they finally catch up to us. And it did catch up to us.
I have to say, we're back to an A+ society. When we got a new grease trap, we're going places.
Yeah, that's right, Paul. Thank you.
True. Yeah, just want to put that in there.
Well, go ahead, Bob.
All right. Two members of the Milton staff at the elementary school did approximately about 1,000 square feet of VCT floor tile repair this summer too. So we did that ahead of actually doing a normal floor stripping and floor finishing. So that was good to get that stuff done. It was just wear and tear and some of the stuff coming apart because in one area the flooring had plywood underneath it. So the plywood was still sound. We just needed to replace the tile. So that work was completed. It's been a work in progress and it hasn't been completed yet, but in order to lighten up the amount of desks that are in all of the classrooms, quite a bit of work has been done to move that into storage that we have either on site at Newt in the container that we have out back, or in the Newt, the old Newt cellarway. So all of that, a lot of that stuff is done. So there's been many hundreds of trips had to be made in order to free up all of the space then to move everything and move desks apart from one another in the building. Once again, I'm sad to report though that with all the work that we've been doing inside the building, once again, care of grounds has suffered. That often is the case because of the amount of resources that I do have to do the work. We focus all our effort, certainly getting ready to be able to open school. And this year we had, I would say, an unprecedented effort in order to open school. All of the middle and high school radiator covers were all taken off, which is usually something that we can only get to on a piecemeal basis, and it's been a few years. So all of those were actually dismantled and cleaned this summer. So we dug in and we could go a lot deeper since we had more time to do a more thorough cleaning. Having said that, we're slightly over the hurdle, and I expect to be able to send most of my staff outside to be able to do some care of grounds work. We also need to do some repair of the emergency set of stairs on the Newt Library, and also the set of stairs at the Milton Playground. Both of those are used pressure treated wood. Anyone that's tried to do any home repairs of deck this summer, and even if they tried to start it in the spring, would have found out that it's kind of hard to get a hold of anything that's pressure treated. So we are literally going to scrounge the countryside tomorrow, looking at any lumberyard that we can to try and see what PT is available now in the fall and get that freed up to do those much needed repairs. So we'll be taking a 110 out for a long cruise to get what we need. We already have our list together of materials, and it'll be work that we can do ourselves. I did want to talk about increase in sanitizing and cleaning. Because of COVID, we'll end up having 2 spray bottles and cleaning rags that we can launder and then reuse. So during the day, staff will have access, as well as the students in the middle and high, to help with sanitizing their own workspaces. And then during the evening, where disinfectant in the past has normally been all centered around doing all of the common touch surfaces, door handles, railings, and the bathrooms and the like, then full-strength disinfectant will be used in all of the classrooms and office spaces as well. So we've changed our cleaning procedures to meet those needs. And I do want to promote the fact that we do have a long-term sub-custodian position open in Milton, and that's for 6 months, and we're looking for a qualified person to help us clean and take care of the school, typically during second shift. All right, any questions?
Bob? Moving on.
Thank you.
Committee reports? Peg?
The only thing that I had was just that we met as a budget, the budget committee met last night, and I just gave them a kind of a cursory overview of that we were not quite ready to talk about what was going back to the town, and that we do not, our Nate does not send out any of the reports until we've had a chance as a budget committee to, as a school board committee to look at them. So we just spent a lot of time on town budgeting, and one of the things that did come up last night was putting together some kind of a handout for the town budget at the September 8th, no, the November 9th, November, whatever the day is, November 8th voting. Just so that people, when they're leaving voting, they can pick up this packet and they will have some clue about what the town budget looks like. So I don't know if it's something that we will be ready by November, probably not. I know I'm seeing Nate shaking his head. No, I know we're not. And I've tried explaining to them that the town is on a, what am I on, calendar year, fiscal year, and we are a July to June. So I don't know. Anyway, it was an interesting meeting. That's all I can say.
But
I had my hand up a lot.
I don't think the budget committee realizes the magnitude of issues we as a school board have to deal with in taking care of and the safety of our kids and our staff. This is not a light project to be put aside, and to rush through it would only hurt us.
I know.
It isn't that I don't want the budgets ready. I understand the workload that everybody is under, and I deeply, as a member of this board, I appreciate what they've all done. And they can take that to the bank for me and put it in the deposit.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, I need a motion to go into non-public. Earl?
Okay, I was just gonna say that both Peg and yourself said that very, very well in a very succinct way. And we can let the group know that. Peg can let the group know that on behalf of you, Doug, and the board and us. I think that was said very, very well.
Now I have been, Earl. What can I say?
I know that.
Okay, I need a motion to go into non-public, but we're gonna have a kind of, I'm getting old, so I'm gonna need a little tiny recess. So before we go in.
I'm even older, Doug, so.
Okay, all right, but not by much. So
Doug, you're gonna need Bob, right?
we're gonna need Bob only to go in, yeah.
And do you want, Jan has one person, a couple of folks that we're going to bring in and a couple left. So she might want to explain the transition a little bit.
Okay.
I had a question for Jan on one of the nominations, so.
Thought you would, Peg.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
I'll make a motion that we go into non-public.
I'll
I will
second.
second. Oh, all right. Emily, you get it.
I'm gonna do that under RSA 91A 32A B C L J K, and I'm asking for at least a 3-minute recess before we do that. So it'll give Steve time to take the people off out of the public to go into non-public. So I'll be right back.
Earl, do you need me in non-public?
No, you're, Doug?
You have to vote. You all have to vote. Aye.
Yeah, aye.
I have an emergency. Okay, we can go home.
I'll make a motion.
Oh, I'll second that one.
Aye.
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 Thank you, everybody.